RocketLabs stock is up 164% this year and over 530% in the last 12 months. Today, the stock sits at around $67 after climbing from just $66 the last time I covered it. So here's the question I keep asking myself. Can this thing keep climbing? Because Rocket Lab isn't your average space startup, right? They've got NASA, Space Force, and Black Sky all signing on. And now they're building Neutron. This is supposed to be a rocket big enough to compete head-to-head with SpaceX. Now, I'm bullish, but I'm not blind. In the last quarter, revenue hit a record $144 million, up 36% year over year. Total revenue for the year sits around $436 million, nearly double what they pulled back in 2023. The company is shifting from a just launched company to a full space systems powerhouse, selling hardware, software, and services all under one roof. But there is one signal that I'm watching. If Neutron launches on schedule, Rocket Lab could go from small cap dreamer to a serious prime contractor. Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Rick Orford. I've been trading since 1999, and I am not a financial advisor. That's a good thing. I break down the numbers so retail investors like us can make smarter, more confident decisions with our money. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/RickO to get your 10 stock picks right now. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. CEO Sir Peter Beck founded Rocket Lab in New Zealand, and since 2006, they've been building a full-service aerospace company that helps scientists and defense programs. Their Electron rocket is a partially reusable small launch vehicle that runs on the 3D printed battery-powered Rutherford engine. It's fast, efficient, and cuts costs dramatically, something that Wall Street pays very close attention to. They're also set to launch Neutron, their new rocket that can cater to larger payloads. If Neutron succeeds, Rocket Lab moves from niche to mainstream, and they become a serious competitor in the commercial and defense launch race. For defense companies, HASTE allows them to conduct hypersonic suborbital tests out of Virginia. That means that Rocket Lab isn't just a commercial player anymore. They're inside defense budgets. And that's where the recurring contracts are all going to survive, right? They're all going to live there. Now, the company also offers turnkey systems and software, allowing researchers to work with a single vendor that does it all. In English, it means that customers don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts, just Rocket Lab. Organizations like NASA, the Space Force, and Black Sky all work with Rocket Lab because of its simplicity and range of services. And then there's Synspective, who signed another 10-launch deal for the Electron rocket, and they've just completed the first out of 21 with them. Their spacecraft, equipped to go to Mars, reached the launch site ahead of schedule. They also secured a multi-launch contract with the Japanese space company JAXA. All this momentum makes Rocket Lab a company that you can't ignore right now, because Rocket Lab, well, it isn't just launching rockets. They're launching a business model that's finally catching some serious investor attention. But can the stock keep up with the story? Well, that's what everyone, even in my Discord server, wants to know. So let's find out. Today, the stock sits at around $67. Last time I covered Rocket Lab, it was around $66. So there's been a slight increase. Not massive, but steady. And steady moves are what sustain long-term trends. Meanwhile, the stock is up 164% year to date and a massive 530% over the last 52 weeks. Now, when Rocket Lab releases their earnings, the stock usually moves around 12%. That is an insane amount of volatility, which makes you ask, is this all momentum or fundamentals driving the stock? Well, to answer that, let's look under the hood and see what the financials say, because financials, well, they can still, I think, tell a good story. In the second quarter of 2025, the company landed a record $144.5 million in revenue, up 36% year over year, with space systems at $97.9 million. And that's some solid growth, especially in a capital intensive industry. And I've learned that when companies like this start scaling both revenue streams, it's usually a signal that the business model is starting to mature. Now, if we zoom out a little bit and look at its annual revenue, it's up about 78% to $436.2 million, with space systems at $310.8 million and launch services at $125.4 million. For context, 2023 revenue was $244.6 million, and in 2022, it was $211 million. So these numbers, well, it's not hype. It shows that it's compounding growth. Each year, Rocket Lab's been stacking real revenue on top of its story. And it reflects a business that now earns more from spacecraft and components than from lift alone, with Electron still flying on schedule and contributing to customer retention. That shift is key. It means they're no longer just a launch company. Rocket Lab is becoming an integrated space systems provider. And that's where the real margins are. And speaking of which, let's see what the bottom line looks like. For fiscal 2024, net loss was roughly $190.2 million or 38 cents a share, rather close to 2023's net loss of $182.6 million. And this reflects continued investment in Neutron and space systems capacity. But there's a nuance. These are strategic losses. They're building infrastructure. So the question isn't, are they losing money, but are they building value faster than they're burning cash? Well, from 2021 to 2024, the company transitioned from a launch-centric story to a diversified space platform that offers hardware, software, and of course, services. Space Systems is their engine right now, while Electron brings in steady mission revenue and a growing book of repeat work. Put simply, margins are improving and the product mix, it's smarter. That's what every investor wants to see in a scaling technology company. Now, I see Rocket Lab as a company that's building a base for profitability. They're just not there yet. Now, once those Neutron investments do start paying off, I think we might see a revenue explosion that changes everything. So with all that, is Rocket Lab stock a buy? Well, let's find out. While we wait for the next earnings call, which I'll cover in a future video, for now, let's see what the analysts say. A consensus among 14 analysts rate the stock a moderate buy and set their high target price at $60. But Rocket Lab already blew past that point. And it's interesting because when a stock outpaces the analysts' highest targets, it means that analysts are either behind the curve or the stock's getting ahead of itself. Either way, I think it's a setup worth watching. As for me, I love the story. And of course, they're making waves in the news, but we're yet to see the headlines translate into their top line. I see the narrative being strong, but the scorecard still needs to catch up. And that's where I'll be watching next, where revenue growth keeps matching the hype. But what about you? Is your portfolio prepared to launch with Rocket Lab, or are you going to be watching from the sidelines? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, if you found the video helpful, do like and subscribe. It'll help others find the video. It'll support the channel. And of course, you won't miss out on any of my future deep dives. Well, that's it for me today in this video. I wanted to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.